This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I'm driving a 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. Up front is a 3.6 liter V6, and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, right off the bat, I've only been driving this car for a couple of minutes, and it seems like today it just doesn't want a car. The steering is very, very stiff, and it's the first thing I noticed. Well, actually, I take that back. The first thing that I noticed was that the doors didn't quite want to open. They were pretty hard to pull, at least these front doors. It feels like it almost is driving just because it has a moral obligation to. Like, oh, I guess you did buy me. Fine, I'll work. That's what it feels like to me, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. Let's get back to that 3.6 liter V6. Well, Dodge puts this into everything. Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep, everything across the board has received this 3.6 liter at some point. Pretty much everything saw this 3.6 liter, and these are still in production. It's a solid motor. It makes decent power, I'll put up on the screen, and gets okay gas mileage. It's not the best in the world, but it's definitely not the worst. I've driven a Chrysler 300 with this, a Dodge Durango, a Dodge Ram. It's a solid engine, it works, and that's why Dodge uses it in everything. All right. So, we're out on the test track. This thing is warmed up, 3.6 liter V6. We're going to pull up to the start line. I'm not expecting really anything from this, but we'll see how this goes. So, like I said, 3.6 liter V6. Wow, really wanting to hold on to that gear. It's all right. It's okay. Like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission. I haven't felt anything weird yet. It's been all right. Dodge isn't quite known for their transmissions, but I mean, you're not going to be throwing any major power at this thing. You're not going to build one of these, and so you'll be fine transmission-wise. And I can plus minus it if I'd like. Last but not least, the Dodge Grand Caravan is front-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. We have a lot to go through because this is a minivan. We'll start up here and then we'll get to the back with all the goodies. So in front of me, I have two main gauge pods. On the left is my tachometer with coolant temperature in the middle, and on the right is my speedometer with fuel down in the middle, as well as I get a little digital readout in the center just for my mileage. You could tell that a bigger screen was offered because this has the space for it, but this is a lower trim level, so unfortunately we don't get that feature. I like the gauges. The gauges look similar to that of the Charger and the Durango, so it carries throughout the whole Dodge lineup. Has the red rings, that sort of angry Dodge sort of appeal that they've been going for the last couple of years. Well, really kind of always. I mean, it dates back to the Challengers and Chargers of the 60s and 70s. So I like that. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my phone options, and on the right, I have my cruise control options. The steering wheel is pretty big, and like I said, it's very, very solid in the fact that it doesn't quite want to turn. It kind of takes a lot of muscle to actually get it to move. And again, I just want to reiterate the fact that maybe this is just this particular Grand Caravan, the doors and the steering feel tight. Maybe that's just this one. But I'm just giving my opinion on the one that I'm driving. To the left of me, I have my headlight switches and dimmer switches, and then on the door, I have my power windows, power mirrors, and power locks, and I do have power windows for the little rear wings, you could call them. You can kind of open up the rear windows ever so slightly to get a little bit more ventilation in, which I quite like, and actually I'll probably leave open for the remainder of the review. In the center, I do get a touchscreen radio. It's not the best. In 2010, this would have been adequate. This would have been very good. But 2017, it's starting to show its age here for sure. And we'll talk about that more a little bit later on because this really isn't a very modern minivan. But I don't have Apple CarPlay. I don't have Android Auto. I don't have even Bluetooth. I have my USB plugged in, but I can't find a way to actually access it. I've been trying to listen to my own music through USB, and I can't find it. It has aux in, and you can switch to the aux in setting, but I can't seem to find the USB in, so I don't think it really has it. You can get Sirius XM radio through it if you pay the monthly price. This is really where the Caravan starts to really show its age, is the center screen, because of how low quality the actual technology in the screen is. And the reason I say that is because I have an iPhone 10. I've had iPhones for the last 6 years maybe. I'm used to a high resolution screen always being around. Anytime I text someone, call someone, watch a video, it's in very high resolution. And so a vehicle that I get into that I'm paying X amount of times more than my phone, it should have that same sort of feeling. I don't want to get into something that I'm making payments on and have it feel lower quality than something I carry around in my pocket, if that makes sense. Down below the screen, we do have 2 very large vents, and we have our climate control. I do have climate controls for the rear. Again, we'll talk about that. This is a minivan. And then down below, we have an econ button, which I really like the fact that just the leaf lights up. When you hit it, the actual leaf lights up, and it's in the shape of a leaf. It's not just a circle little light. It's an actual shape of a leaf. I think that's such great attention to detail. I'm really happy that they did that, and I haven't seen that in any other cars. Then to the right of that, hazards and traction control off if you want to get giddy with it. I then have a little cubby hole, pull-out cup holders, and the center console also has some 12-volt outlets down at the very bottom, of which they are the classic. One of them works just with the key, so only when the vehicle is on, and one of them works off the battery, so it will work whether the car is on or off. This is absolutely brilliant that Chrysler and Dodge actually label their 12-volt outlets. I don't know why other companies don't do that. They've been doing this since at least 2004 to my knowledge. We have a 2004 Chrysler at home. It has that. It's great. That is a great idea. The seats are decently comfortable. They feel sort of like a couch you'd buy at Goodwill, where they're decent, they're nice, but it's not the best thing in the world. It's not ultra classy. And like I said, this isn't the top tier. This isn't the top Grand Caravan, so I can't really fault it too much. Now we will be stepping into the back seat because we have a lot to talk about back there. It is a minivan. We have stow and go and things like that, so we'll hop back there and as well as look at the hatch. All right, so we're in the back of the 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. I misspoke earlier in the review. This does not actually have power rear doors, which for a 2017, I know this is closer to base, but for 2017, still no power doors? As it shakes the GoPro. I do have power windows in the doors, which is a nice feature. And the second row isn't bad. I do have my fan controls, hot, cold, and where to actually send the climate controls up top, which is very nice. But the biggest draw, at least for me, is the Stow and Go system down below. So what the Stow and Go system is it's really just cargo space under the floor, so things aren't going to get kicked, moved, whatever it may be. Dodge has really been stepping up their game with storage in the last 10 to 15 years. They've really been changing storage in terms of like the RAM boxes on their Rams, which are really nice, and then these, of course, Stow and Go. So I'm showing Stow and Go video right now, which is, it's very nice. One thing you could get in a Grand Caravan that this does not have is you could get rear captain's chairs, so they look like the front seats, that will actually swivel around, and you could set up a table in the middle of you and actually have a table for games, eating, whatever it may be that you would want a table for, which would be really nice for road trips, campouts, whatever it may be. So, like I said, unfortunately, this particular one doesn't have that, but we'll hop back to the third row because it does, in fact, have that. All right, so we're in the back of the 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. This isn't my most flattering angle, but we'll go with it. Very roomy. Very nice. If you have multiple kids, more than 2 kids, get a minivan. SUVs are good, but the third row just does not compare. My knees aren't even hitting the front seats. I feel like an adult. I actually have headroom. I mean, it feels like an airport shuttle. I mean, this is actually nice back here. If you have more than 2 kids, just suck it up and get the minivan. It's just way better for them. And this is actually nice. I get it why people like these things so much. I feel like an adult. I don't feel like a kid back here, which is my biggest gripe with most third row back seats, is they squeeze you and contort you into this weird shape like a magician's going to cut you in half. But back here, no, this is just another seat Great legroom, great headroom. I cannot say enough good things about this rear seat. I absolutely love it. So we're around back of the Dodge Grand Caravan. No button on the fob or anything, just a handle. Pull it up. And boom, this third row can actually fold down into here. There's all these straps. You pull number 1, then number 2, then number 3, and number 4. They're not power, but they work. I have these nice sort of cubbies in the side. Have little tie downs here. Overall, great backspace. And like I said, if these fold down, I mean, you have tons and tons of room. This is very utilitarian. I absolutely love this part of it. You cannot go wrong with cargo in these vans. You just can't. Now we have to talk about the looks. It's a minivan. It is a Dodge Grand Caravan. I don't think it looks good. It's all right. I mean, it's not repulsive, but it's a Dodge Grand Caravan. What do you expect? And so that is sort of my talking point about this, is that, yes, this is a 2017, but honestly, if I just changed the title to 2008, no one would really notice a difference. And this van has been made since 2008. It actually predates the Nissan 370Z by 1 model year, and the 370Z has been desperate for an update. And so is this. I get it. It's a fleet vehicle. It's something easy and cheap for Dodge to produce, and they sell hundreds of thousands of these a year. But if they want to stay competitive, they need to update it. And in 2020, actually, unfortunately, this month, the month in which I'm making this video of May, this is the last month that they're making this Grand Caravan.
At the time of filming this, I wasn't aware of the exact date that the Caravan would go out of production, and actually, as it fell, I filmed this Dodge Caravan on the very last day of the Caravan's production. It was supposed to end May 21st, 2020 to end the Caravan. However, I'm sure the coronavirus probably did push this date, so I'm not exactly sure, and I haven't been able to find out when the actual final day is, but the original final end date was May 21st, and that is the day I filmed this video.
And so, while it may seem sad that the Dodge Caravan is going away and it's actually going to be taken over by the Chrysler Pacifica and Chrysler Voyager, this minivan has kind of been dying for a while. The Chrysler Town & Country used to be based off this. No longer is, but it used to have the sister vehicle, the Chrysler Town & Country. The Volkswagen minivan, I forget the name at the moment, was based off this same chassis. And I didn't know this. This is a very fun fact for this van. Overseas, this is sold under the Lancia badge. Yeah, the Lancia Stratos. Ever heard of it? Now they sell rebadged Dodge Grand Caravans. Ugh. However, my closing thoughts on the Grand Caravan are as follows. It's outdated. It needs an update. It needs current technology. However, it works. It just plain works. And the Dodge Grand Caravan is kind of what started the minivan way back in the day, and the Chrysler Town & Country back in the 80s. I just wish Dodge gave it a little bit more love. Does this van work? Yes. Does it have good features? Sure. But it's just not what it used to be. So if you're looking for a minivan to carry around your family, this is a good option. If you're looking on a budget, this is a good option. But if you do want more features, I would recommend the Chrysler Pacifica. I have reviewed that. I'll leave that at the end of the video. Look at a Chrysler Pacifica. Way nicer, way more features. Well, I want to give a huge shout out to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their Dodge Grand Caravan. I finally got to sample this thing that has been around forever and ever and ever, so I could finally tell people what this thing feels like. They have hundreds of used cars on their lot at all times. They have tons of different minivans. It's not the only minivan they have, but if you're looking for an SUV, a fuel-efficient hybrid, whatever it may be, check out Toyota of Naperville. Their information is up on the screen, as well as linked in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.